Hello. Quarantine has been super fun. I am lucky enough to still have a job, but quarantine and this whole pandemic has had a very interesting effect on my mental health and creativity. But here I am today, and I'm gonna be dyeing my hair because if you have watched any videos on my channel, you'll notice that I change my hair at an alarming frequency. And yeah, that is how I give myself a semblance of control over my life. Today is no different. My roots are in tragedy. You can still see the remnants from when I dyed my hair pink on one underside of my hair. Don't know what's happening there. Can't get it to come out, so I'm gonna just dye over it and hope that it comes out looking normal. Also, I hope that this dye sticks to my roots. So this will be fun. While I dye it, I'm also going to be talking about the Hunger Games prequel. I feel like this topic is a little bit overdone at this point, but I'm not going to be here bitching and complaining about the fact that it's about President Snow, because that has been overdone. I am here today with a theory. So, I'm going to mix together my dye, and then we'll get into my fun little theory. I have next to no idea what I'm doing, so like if Brad Mondo or some other hairdresser somehow finds this video, I would like to apologize in advance. Kind of. Not really. Today I'm using the Wella Color Charm liquid hair color. I'm using the color 8. It's not going to focus. 8RG/729 titanium red blonde. I will link this in the description. That's the color I'm using, and I'm hoping this comes out sounds dark. But yeah, who freaking cares? Nobody is going to really see it except for my boyfriend, and he doesn't really care that much. So I'm gonna just start. I don't know if I should start at the top or the bottom, but we're starting at the top. So anyway, yeah. So I think most of the bookish community. Oh no, I already spilled it on my shirt. That's what today. That is just. That's what this is gonna be, I guess. So, like everybody else in the bookish community who, has 2 brain cells, I loved the Hunger Games. When I was in high school, I am not in high school anymore. I graduated with my master's almost 2 years ago now. So yeah, I'm kind of old as fuck. Despite my youthful appearance, I'm old. And it's been a hot minute since the Hunger Games came out, and a hot minute since I haven't read them, I think, since the first time I read them. Oh, this is going to be very red. Okay, cool. Cool. Interesting. Okay. Oh, God, this is very liquidy. Just fair warning, I think maybe I didn't use enough developer, or what? I've never used a dye that was liquid before you put this. I'm sure any hairdressers watching here right now are freaking cringing. I've never used the hair dye that was liquid before you mixed it with a developer, because I only used semi and demi-permanent dyes before this. I couldn't find a red dye that was semi or demi-permanent that was a color that I liked. So here we are. This lighting probably atrocious, but we're gonna all have to just live with the choices that I have been making, which includes dripping everywhere. Okay, so as I was saying, like everyone else and their mother, I loved the Hunger Games, and it's been a really long time since I reread them. So I decided okay, actually I've never reread them. I read them once and I moved on, and now I'm rereading them, for the prequel, because I kind of remember them. The first one the best? But then upon reread, I was like, wow, I forgot a lot of stuff. And I'm now on Catching Fire, and I'm like, I really forgot a lot of stuff that happens in these books, and just how like compelling some of the other victors are, like especially Mad. I would have loved the prequel to be about her. I think like everybody would have loved for the prequel to be about her or Finnick. Just because like this 8-year-old woman who is, you know, not all there. Like she volunteers for Annie. I just, heartbreaking, so emotional, so good. Freaking love it. And I'm just remembering how compelling these other characters are. But anyway, that is not my theory. But when I was rereading the first Hunger Games, okay, Katniss, at some point she's like talking about the 12 victors, okay? The previous victors from District 12, and how now in the 74th Hunger Games, there's only one victor left for District 12, which is Haymitch. But she mentions that there had been 2 victors, okay, from District 12. The other one's like dead now, right? We've all read the description for A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, or whatever the fuck that book is called. President Snow was a, like, mentor for a District 12 victor. Katniss did specifically say the first District 12 victor was a woman and that she had died. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that Suzette Collins planted that seed from the get-go. She knew. And so we need to have some more faith in her. I truly believe that the first ever victor from District 12 is going to be the woman, the girl, I guess, because she's going to be a child, obviously, that President Snow mentors in the 10th Hunger Games. Because it also like makes sense. It'll have been 64 years between when that woman was in the Hunger Games and when Katniss she volunteers for in the Hunger Games, which like President Snow has like the capital resources to have lived those 64 years from the 10th Hunger Games to the 74th and so on. But this woman, even though she was the victor, like she doesn't have, like they weren't gonna put in all of like the money and shit to keep her alive for like a super long time like they would with President Snow. So it makes sense that she would die beforehand. I'm just saying, like, I think whoever he mentors in this freaking book is gonna be the winner and will have been the first District 12 victor, and so that's like how he rises to power, is he helps like this no-name district rise to power. I'm also really interested to see like what District 13, I guess like they didn't have any kids in the Hunger Games, but you know what I mean, like I'm just interested to see. Like, everybody can complain about it being a President Snow backstory all they want. I am personally super excited to get the world building that we're going to get when we get a look at the early Hunger Games, because I have a feeling they are very different from the Hunger Games that, you know, happen 60 some odd years in the future that are the ones we've seen. I'm super interested. I could give like 2 rats' asses about President Snow and his friggin' backstory, like everybody else, right? But I want to see what Panem was like, you know, just 10 years after the rebellion failed, and, you know, all of that. Because like 10 years, like, that means most of the people who are still alive lived through that rebellion, and I want to see what that looks like. You know, like, it's fascinating to me, and like I just hope that she doesn't make President Snow sympathetic. But here's why I think she's not going to. One, Susan Collins didn't fail us. She hasn't failed us. She has proven that she was not in it just for like, she's not J.K. Rowling us and just trying to take a shit ton of money from fans. She don't freaking need it. She left. She pieced the frick out for ages. But also, I think that if my theory is right, it kind of proves that she knew she was not, like, she knew this was part of Snow's origin story the whole time, and she didn't use it in the books to make him sympathetic. So I don't know why she would why bother making him sympathetic now, and then she's turned into like a Trumper for some unbelievable reason. Like, I just don't see that being the case. So I feel like she has known all along. Granted, my theory has to be correct for this to be true. But if my theory is true, then she's known all along that this was Snow's backstory, and she didn't just suddenly have like the inspiration to be like, oh, what if he mentored a District 12 girl? No, like, she laid the seeds of the first District 12 victor. And like, when you think about it, like, Katniss wouldn't have won if she didn't have a mentor in Haymitch on the outside. She got a lot of stuff she needed. So I figured that in the early Hunger Games, it was super hard for districts that didn't win the first few like Hunger Games to get a win, because other districts had mentors to help them and they didn't. And so, is he sympathetic for helping her, or is he actually like kind of a piece of shit for using this poor child's, like, the atrocities they're about to face to benefit himself? Like, I don't know that makes him sympathetic. But also, all I'm saying is that, you know, they got a first win pretty early on. Why is that? And why was she not able to help them get another win? I mean, other than Haymitch. I'm not sure how much she was really involved in that based on what we know about Haymitch in the Quarter Quell. Plus, like, he doesn't mention her. I'm just saying. I think I'm right. I think that it's the person that Katniss mentions in the first book, like, I think before she even volunteers for Prim. And so I think they're going to win the Hunger Games, the 10th Hunger Games. That's my theory. She could, of course, like, still use that to make Snow sympathetic. It just doesn't sit right. Like, I don't believe it. I think she wants to create more world building. Like, I really don't know why she wanted to make a prequel. It's been a very long time. She hasn't really done anything book-wise since. I don't know if she just was like, you know, now is a good time to show you that, like, tyrants are born tyrants and they'll always suck. Or what the hip-hop dealio is, but I just can't believe that she would go from giving us the anti-capitalist masterpiece that is the Hunger Games, and then go from that to President Snow is sympathetic? I don't think so. I don't believe it, but I could be proven wrong. So, we shall see. But that's my theory. It's just a game theory. I'm going to finish dyeing my hair. Yes, it looks terrible. Hopefully it won't look this bad when I'm done. But yeah, that is my theory about Hunger Games. I don't have anything else to say. I'm in the middle. I'm almost done catching fire, and it's about like 5 days until the prequel comes out. So hopefully I'll be done by then. So, yeah, this is how my hair looks now. Don't clown me because it didn't come out exactly the color I was intending. I was going more for like Sansa Stark, and I got more like Haley from Paramore. I don't hate it. It's not really what I was going for. I still don't know really how to do like my makeup for this hair color. I'm not sure green is actually all that flattering with this particular shade of like pinkish red, but this is the color my hair is going to be, at least until I wash it. And then who knows what color it's going to look like every wash after that. But for at least a little bit, this is what I'm going to look like. Hope you had a good time watching me destroy my hair and talk about what is probably an incredibly unoriginal and stale theory about the Hunger Games prequel, because it comes out in like 4 or 5 days, whatever, and I'm sure every theory has already been combed over and whatever, but I haven't been reading them, and that was like what my brain thought of. So yeah, I don't really care. That's what I think it's going to be about, but I think it's going to be a negative thing about President Snow. Like, he's using her to get his way, and not like he's sympathetic, like, oh no, he might lose her, and we're like, she better fucking win or I'm fucking screwed, so this bitch like gotta kill some people. I don't know, something like that. That's where I think it's gonna go. But yeah, I'm gonna go back to trying to finish Catching Fire and figuring out how to make my makeup look good with this weird color that looks like I missed spots on camera, but I promise I didn't in person. So anyway, yeah, see you in the next video.